Math 8. Have a marvelous Monday today, and may the 4th be with you. Anyway, get it? Sorry, I couldn't resist Mr. Rubio rubbing off on me. Anyway, today you're going to watch and take notes with this video. If you haven't tried Metamoji yet, you might want to try that. It really makes everything easier, and there's a little bit of graph paper in this, so that could really help you quite a bit. And then go ahead and complete the patterns and scenarios worksheet and submit that to Google Classroom. All right, let's get going. Remember, pause as much as you need to. All right, today we're doing representations of linear relationships. And your EQ is, what are the 4 ways a linear relationship can be represented? And lo and behold, here they are, 4 representations for linear relationships. A pattern or scenario, a table, a graph, and an equation. Oops, don't know why that got some soft. Let's make that bigger. Oh, that's better. All right, so here we're going to start with a pattern. And we're going to go ahead and include figure. Oh, actually, no, I don't want these. These are wrong. This should say figure. Sorry, this is my typo. This should say figure 1. This should say figure 2. This should say figure 0. Okay. And we're also going to do figure 3. All right, so if I take a look at this, and why don't you pause this for a minute, see if you can figure out how it works, and then put this back on. Okay, so you may have noticed that these end blocks, each time we're adding one more to the end. So we've got the center one here, or at least is the way I'm looking at it. So we've got a center one here, and then we have 2 on each side and 2 above, so that means we need 3 on each side and 3 above. Okay, good enough there. And then if we're working backward, then each time we're taking off, so we've got 1, 2, 3 that come off to give us figure 2, 1, 2, 3 that come off to give us figure 1, 1, 2, 3 that come off to give us figure 0, which would just be that center block. Okay, second way is with our table. So table, remember, we're going to label. We have figure number, and we have number of tiles. It's all sounding familiar now? So we've got 0, 1, 2, and 3 for our figure numbers. So figure 0, we have 1. Figure 1, we have 4. Figure 2, we have 7. And figure 3, we have, 10. So again, you'll notice that each time you were increasing by the same amount, which in this case was plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. Over here, increasing figure number by 1. Okay, so now we can go ahead and graph that as well. We have 0, 1 as our first coordinate. Then we have 1, 4. And then 2, 7, and then 3, 10. And again, each time we're going up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. So if we wanted to add to this, we could. Up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And that keeps going. Again, we could do the same thing here. You know, add 1 here, add 3 here. Okay. Next, we want to get our equation. So to get our equation, we need m, which is our rate of change or slope, b, which is our starting amount. Let's start with that starting amount. So how many tiles did we start with in figure 0? Remember, x is always representing a figure number, so we're always going to have a 0 there. And then the y in this case is 1, so 0, 1. And then our slope, or our rate of change, we want to have the change in y over the change in x. So each time our y is changing by 3 tiles for every one figure. So 3 over 1 or just 3. So then we're going to write our equation in the form of y equals mx plus b, where we just replace m and b in this equation. So y equals, our slope is 3, then comes x, and then our starting amount. So we start with, that's our starting amount of tiles. We're growing by the rate of 3 tiles per figure. X is representing the figure number, and Y is representing the number of tiles. Okay, all right. And again, you don't have to do them in that order either. Once you complete the pattern, you might go to the graph first. You could go to the equation. You know, if you take a look at how the pattern's growing, you can see it's growing 3 tiles for every one figure. So you could go to the table last. You could mix these all around. But that's the order we typically did in class, and so I think that's the order that we're most used to, and the order that is probably the simplest and most straightforward. You know, doing that table first lets you get the graph very easily, and then when you've got both the table and the graph, it's easy to get your equation. All right, one more. Here's a scenario instead. So Juan has $8 in his bank. He saves an extra $2 every week. Show how his money grows with a table, graph, and equation. So this is giving us a scenario. Instead of a pattern, we're getting a situation in words. That's our scenario. So let's start with a table. And take a minute to analyze this and figure out what X and Y are going to represent, because everything is going to be based around that. Okay, so X is going to be your number of weeks, and Y is going to be money in the bank. So let's go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go up to 5. The graph goes to 5, so let's go to 5. So what's his starting amount of dollars? Right, so he starts with 8. And then he saved an extra $2 every week. So it's growing by $2. So 8 plus 2, 10. Growing another $2. That's going to be 12 for week 2. Grow another $2. 14 for week 3. Grow another 2. 16 for week 4. Grow another 2. 18 for week 5. All right, now let's go ahead and graph that. So we have 0, 8. That's our y-intercept. And then 110. And 212. And 314. And 416. And 518. So each time we are increasing 2, going over 1. Oops, missed that last one, but you get the idea. Okay, so what's our slope and what's our y-intercept? Let's do our y-intercept first. So our starting amount, 0, 8. So that means when we're at week 0, we have $8 in the bank. All right, and then our slope, we want our change in y over our change in x. So our change in y we already have marked is we are increasing by 2 each time. So 2. And our change in x, we're doing it 1 week at a time. So that is all increasing by 1. So we get 2 over 1 or 2. So our equation in y equals mx plus b form is going to be y equals 2x plus 8, substituting in that slope and the y-intercept. So 8 is the starting amount of money or dollars. I want to be specific. And it's growing by $2 per week. And then X is representing the number of weeks. And And then y is representing total amount of money that you have. Okay, that's it. So think back, what are the 4 ways of linear relation?